Welcome gamers, Hazardor here, and today I'm going to be giving my opinion on the question, will Battlefield 1 be good or not? Now my personal opinion, I think this game is going to be amazing, but a lot of people may be disappointed for a few of the reasons I'm going to mention later in this video. Let's start off by saying why I think this game will be amazing and very good. First of all, it's a Battlefield game. Battlefield games are known for being massively scaled, huge, 64 players going at it against each other on a massive map, conquest large, vehicles everywhere, lots of weapon variety. I love this, and since I've started getting into the Battlefield series, I think it was like towards the start of Battlefield 3 where I started to play it quite a lot, so I'm not like a veteran or anything, but I definitely prefer Battlefield over Call of Duty now. And just the fact that this is a Battlefield game, we're going to have these large conquest maps, loads of vehicles and stuff, it is sure going to deliver and really satisfy me in that way anyway. Now the big scale in itself is a reason why everybody should be getting excited about Battlefield 1, because the maps look absolutely massive, and the maps themselves aren't sort of just one environment again and again, and that was one of my worries about this game. I thought that since it was a World War I game, it'd just be trenches in France, trenches here, trenches there, just trench warfare all the time, but it doesn't look like that at all. There are jungle maps, there are desert maps, there are sort of villages, massive open landscapes where it will be trench warfare. Thankfully, it's not just going to be trench warfare all the time, because that would make the gameplay kind of rubbish. This game has to be very good, because the trailers have portrayed it to be absolutely amazing, and if this game was just as half as good as the trailer is, this game is possibly going to be a Game of the Year contender. The vehicles in themselves just look absolutely amazing. They look really fun to use, especially the tanks and the aeroplanes, and if you learn to master these, you can completely dominate and win the match for your team just by sitting in one vehicle all the match. I think everybody loves that about Battlefield, and without vehicles, Battlefield wouldn't be what we know it is today. Now another reason why I think this game could be very good, and it's something that not many people would expect, I think that Battlefield 1 could have a very interesting story mode. I think they've already announced that we will be playing different characters in sort of different countries, like you saw the horses in a desert. I imagine you'll be there for a bit, then you'll engage in trench warfare, maybe you'll then do a few missions as a guy in a sort of tank, or maybe someone else engaging in air combat. I think Battlefield and DICE will put us in lots of different situations on different sides, for example French, English, German or whatever. You're not going to be the same guy doing the same sort of storyline for the same person. You're going to be doing different characters in different environments, different sides, and it's going to be very interesting. I think the campaign for Battlefield 1 could actually be very, very good, but of course, Battlefield is all about the multiplayer, and a campaign will be played once, maybe twice, and then put down, and you'll put hundreds of hours into that beautiful multiplayer experience. And last but not least, one of the reasons I think this game is going to be very good is the weapons. I thought that Battlefield 1 would just have bolt action snipers, because let's be honest, that's all what was used in World War I. Yes, there were other machine guns and stuff, but from my experience and my knowledge, most of the weapons were bolt action rifles. There weren't loads of SMGs, rocket launchers, this sort of stuff. But in Battlefield 1, they're not just going to be bolt action rifles, because to be honest, that would get kind of boring, wouldn't it? And I think the gameplay with these weapons will be very good. There's not going to be loads of attachments. I don't think there's going to be any sort of really wacky camos you can put on your weapon, because that wouldn't fit into the theme at all. But the weapons, they look really good, and I'm pretty sure it's very satisfying to kill people with different weapons, and you will be able to master a specific weapon in that game, get loads of service stars, and that's another reason why loads of people play Battlefield, because they find a weapon, they love it, they master it, and they completely dominate the battlefield. However, despite all of this, I think there is a massive chance that Battlefield 1 could fall flat on its face and be an absolute disaster. Number one reason, just look at how Battlefield 4 launched. This is made by the same people who made Battlefield 4, and at launch, that was completely unplayable. There's rubber banding, there was loads of lag, there were bugs, there were glitches everywhere, and a lot of people put the game down and said, you know what, I'm not playing this game anymore, and switched on to another game, and that pushed a lot of the fan base away. A lot of people, like me included, I stayed there, I waited until they improved the game, and now it's one of the best first person shooters you can get on console. But at launch, if Battlefield 1 is broken, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be massively disappointed, and it's going to pull the game right down before it's even got up on his feet. Of course, we do have Battlefield Premium as well. You're going to have to stick another £40 down for this, and behind this season pass, you're going to get expansion packs. Just like in Battlefield 4, I think there were 3 or 4 different expansion packs. It was really good, don't get me wrong, but having to put down another £40 after you've just spent £50, that is a lot of money. That is close to £100, which I think is like $120. And if you have to pay that much just to get the full game, I mean, that's a lot of money just for a video game, isn't it? So I think this game does have a big chance to fail because there's just gonna be not enough to do in this game. With multiplayer games, you need loads of stuff to do so it doesn't get boring, because most multiplayer games, you're looking to put hundreds of hours into it. And if there's not that much gameplay, you can't just keep playing the same maps with the same weapons again and again. It gets really boring, very tedious, and a lot of people just put it down after a while. Now finally, another little reason I think this game could fail is because it's not realistic enough for some people. Some people will be coming into this game hoping for a World War I sort of simulator, and it's just not that. You see vehicles going very quickly, tanks back in World War I, I'm pretty sure they moved at like 2 or 4 miles per hour. They were really slow, they barely even worked properly because they were only just invented. Weapons are mostly bolt action rifles, and in Battlefield 1, this is not the case. This is not a sort of hyper-realistic World War I game, you have to remember that. It's still a Battlefield game, so if you come into this game expecting it to be very, very realistic, I'm pretty sure you'll be disappointed. But anyway, let's hope Battlefield 1 is amazing. I think it's going to be good, it's just a matter of how good is it going to be. But anyway guys, thank you for watching, like, comment and subscribe for more.